Okay, thank you for joining me today. First, I want to thank the Glazer Clinics for having me present. It's certainly an honor to represent Ferris State University. My name is Rob Zeitman. I'm the assistant head football coach at Ferris State. I work under head coach Tony Anise. Just finished our first season at Ferris State, and this is our offense, the Shogun offense. We're located in Big Rapids, Michigan. We compete in the GLIAC Conference, the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, which is an NCAA Division II conference, widely considered one of the top conferences in the country. And we're going to talk to you today about variations of option plays and things we can do off of our base stuff. We have a spring football clinic. It's held Saturday, April 20th. It's an option clinic. We had a great turnout last year. We feel like we have an even better setup this year. We're expecting another good turnout. Okay. We're going to start over now. 3, 2, 1. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk a little bit about variations of option plays. My name is Rob Zeitman. I'm the assistant head coach at Ferris State University. It's certainly a privilege for me to represent Ferris State at the Glazer Clinics this year, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I work for head coach Tony Anise. This is our first year at Ferris State University. We work in the GLIAC Conference, an NCAA Division II conference, widely considered one of the toughest conferences in Division II. We're located in Big Rapids, Michigan, on the west side of the state. So we're going to get started here. First, we do have a spring clinic. A lot of guys came up last year, some guys from Illinois, Indiana, even a couple guys from Ohio. It's Saturday, April 20th. And we'll have registration at 9 a.m. and we'll have a great clinic. It was extremely well attended last year. It'll include lunch. It'll include some on-field demonstrations as part of our last practice, helmets only, so you'll get to see a lot of technique-oriented drills in that practice, what I think would be definitely worth your while. If you can't come up then, certainly you pick another time that we can get you up and talk football. We'd love to have you. We're going to talk variations of option plays today. First of all, our general philosophies and where we're coming from as we talk football here. We keep a lot of the traditional veer option principles that if you watch Georgia Tech or Navy, you'd be familiar with, even really probably a little bit more so with Air Force, because we do utilize a tight end quite a bit. But we moved from the traditional flex bone into a short pistol. The reason we did that is to try and combine some of the spread passing principles of an Oklahoma State, Washington State, using the quick game, bubble screens, etc., and then working personnel mismatches on the edge and trying to exploit those options. We've, like I said before, we're a short pistol team. We do deepen up and go full pistol and use some of the Nevada concepts. Certainly, they're great innovators of the game, and we've seen a lot of their stuff, and are trying to combine more and more of their stuff as we go along, and we want to do it at the pace of Oregon. So we are a no huddle team, and there is a component of speed and pace to what we do. So that kind of backs you up. Why are we option oriented? For us, it becomes a numbers game. In a conventional offense, if your quarterback's not a factor, then essentially you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 defenders here, and really only 4 blockers with 1, 2, 3, 4.5 blockers. So you're at a numerical disadvantage. If you run a double option play where you don't block a guy at the point of attack here, for instance, then you're setting yourself up where you have 4.5 to 4.5. And then obviously if you have a triple option play where there are 2 guys that you're not blocking on purpose at the point of attack, then you get the numerical advantage of 3.5 defenders for 4 blockers. So that kind of sets us up as to why we're an option team, why we believe in those option principles. Why the Shogun, why the short pistol? option. The way we've run option, we've always stepped deep on the clock with our quarterback at 5 and 7 o'clock on our inside veer triple play. The short pistol allows us to stay deep in our initial alignment, and then we can work more pivoting rather than working the intricate footwork of stepping back and stabbing the ball back and then riding forward. Also, we reduce the box with the alignment of our slots. Instead of 1 by 1 off the tackle, they move as deep as the quarterback, and they're 5 yards from the tackle now. This also allows us to the depth allows us to make an easy orbit motion path for the slot. The quick passing game, now our quarterback just simply catches the snap and he's in position to throw the quick game. All he has to do is turn his shoulder and aim his hip, at his target and go. Whereas before, it was big, little, transfer the weight forward and throw the ball. Certainly took a lot more practice time than what we're doing with it now. The inside veer plays, our veer option stuff hits vertically quicker than the true shotgun or the true pistol, but it is a little slower than when we're under center. We lost a yard on our running back's alignment. It protects the mesh from being attacked. We feel like that if there is a tie at the line of scrimmage, that they're not going to blow up our mesh or make our quarterback feel like he's operating in a telephone booth. It allows us to widen our splits a little bit. We're 3 feet to 3.5 feet in the A gap and 3.5 feet even out to 4 feet in the B gap, and spreads the defense out, creates better blocking angles for us. We do hug the line of scrimmage, so we feel like we can get off the ball a little bit better that way. It forces the handoff key to be very definitive in his angle because we are so deep. Either he's going after that running back or he's going after our quarterback, and consequently it makes the read of the quarterback easier. Gives the quarterback more time to read the handoff key and then transition his eyes to the pitch key because the pitch key's wider because of our alignment of our quarterback's depth and then the splits of our offensive line. We do have some accommodations that we have to do, a couple of them. Number one, a two-handed snap with end-to-end rotational spin. We had really 2 mishandled snaps this past season. And the running back lines up with his helmet 5 yards from the tip of the ball instead of his heels at 5 yards from the tip of the ball. So that's kind of what we have to do there. The slots line up on the horizontal plane as the quarterback. So the motion is quick and at an angle where what we call it becomes undetectable motion. Is he motioning across the formation? Is he motioning to the backfield? Or is he motioning short to insert himself on that side in terms of the guard tackle hole? So it's very difficult for you to, as a defense, to differentiate. Quarterback's footwork is pivot style rather than stepping on an imaginary clock, and the quarterback has to be louder because we are no huddle. So those are kind of the accommodations that we have. Here you can see a schematic of our lineup, of our alignment rather, 5 yards from the tackle and level with the quarterback are our slots. Quarterback's toes in our base short pistol are 2.5 yards from the tip of the ball, and our running back's helmet is 5 yards from the tip of the ball. So that kind of gives you that. Before we talk about variations, we should really kind of define, who we are in inside veer, our base play, and kind of understand what that play is and how it's executed. First of all, the play's value, we really believe it's 3 plays in one to each side of the football. They're given 3.5 defenders to 4.5 blockers. By reading 2 guys on the side of the ball, it gives the offense a decisive advantage. We have a handoff key. We have a pitch key on this play. We have various perimeter blocking schemes we can employ so that we can change or differentiate who that pitch key may be. So we feel like that gives us an advantage. It opens up many more opportunities for your offense because the defense has to stop this play first. Normally, we would be a team that would run this play to death and then play off of it. And this year we were able to get to other things a lot quicker because people defenses had sold out to make sure that they were squared away to stop this play. We feel like it's a great red zone play. Ball goes downhill fast, and you're really stressing the defense in the red zone and forcing them to play alignment assignment football. You only have to learn how to read and mesh, and it takes time. But if you're willing to do it, your team can be really good. You don't have to You don't have to have the absolute explosive athletes. You can win with inferior talent and be be competitive against a defense that might be far superior to you talent-wise. Here's kind of the schematic of the play. You see the handoff key is squared off in red, the defensive end, and then the outside backer is white with a red border, and he becomes the pitch key. And we're riding to side, pushing the mesh off the butt of the guard with the running back, and then the quarterback bubbles off, attacks the outside shoulder of the pitch key, and we're working the perimeter there. So that's kind of our bread and butter play. We call it inside veer or inside veer triple play, or our triple play. But as we talk about this play and what defenses like to do to stop us, here's what we found, that many defenses will turn to what we call it the option switch stunt, having the defensive end crash really hard and the inside linebacker play over the top, trying to scrape outside, trying to get that extra defender, so you've got a guy for the quarterback and a guy for the pitchback. The option switch stunt is shown here. Our tackle would traditionally veer release for the mic, but if you're crashing that D end right now and playing the mic over the top right now, that tackle's simply not going to get there. So it does create a problem because as we see, we've got handoff key, and then we've got pitch key, and then we've got extra defender here. So essentially what the defense is trying to do is, as we run our track, we're going to disengage. Our quarterback will keep the ball. We've got the pitch back coming hard, and then he's going to come to quarterback right now and force the pitch, while this cat, our pitch key, is screaming down, and looking for the big hit off the pitch. And if they get that, then we're in real trouble. So what we have to understand is our quarterback must know that he can never pitch off the inside linebacker unless we're blocking the pitch key. All right. So what we tell our guy to do right off the bat, if you see that guy show, if you see that inside linebacker show off the edge, then you put your foot in the ground and you get vertical right now. Okay, so we're going to try and mitigate that. One thing that we should say is that this is a difficult stunt for this inside linebacker to pull off. He's got to come tight enough. By teaching our quarterback that, he's got to come so tight so that there's no space between essentially our guy veering down, the defensive end crashing, and where the inside backer is. Because if he comes off that mesh, the quarterback comes off that mesh, and is able to get vertical inside of him, then it's a chance for a big play for us. If he does make the play, then he's making the play at the line of scrimmage, and it's not a hoot and holler big hit play, for the defense. And we get a chance to kind of go back and kind of work some of our other schemes against them. Some of the adjustments that we have for option switch, if we think that the linebacker is reading the backfield, meaning they see flow and they're going, they see motion, they see the quarterback open up to their side, and then they're going to say, okay, I'm going to scrape to the edge right now. We look at basing up the front side, make it look like inside veer in the backfield, and then the inside linebacker runs himself out of the play, or we motion away and then dive to get his movement going in the wrong direction and base it up that way. And here's what we're talking about here. So everything in the backfield, from the motion to the way the quarterback opens up to the where the running back is tracking, looks like inside veer, and then we just base up that D end. As he's crashing, we've got to get up inside of him, which we have leverage to begin with, and then the inside backer takes himself out of the play. In which we're doing. So, we feel good about that if we determine that that's the issue. Another attempt would be to bang release the handoff key and hope that the inside linebacker comes over the top too fast. The tackle will have the same assignment, but if the inside linebacker plays over the top, he'll get to the backside linebacker. So what we're talking about there is, as a bang release, we're talking about kind of putting our shoulder into this D end and then working up off of that. Because if the inside linebacker is reading the release of the tackle and sees the tackle releasing inside, then he's going to play over the top just like he would. And this defensive end is hitting back on our tackle. Then if we kind of nudge release him, essentially what we're doing is holding him up, because our quarterback's taught if he can't tackle the running back, give the football. So, in that regard, we feel like we're using the offensive tackle's technique to cheat a read, and rather than tell our quarterback, just give it this time, which takes the option out of option. We don't want to do that, but we kind of cheat it just a little bit so that we get that bang release so that we can create a give read and hopefully our running back into that secondary right now. Another option would be to motion the slot across the formation, insert that same backside slot, and arc the tackle. This creates a double option play. So now what we would do if we're seeing this done a lot is we just motion the kid straight across, just like is shown here. We're going to insert him for the inside backer, and we're going to short arc him. Now in this instance, we're going to block the pitch key, and then we're going to stalk the corner as well. Okay, so essentially what we've done is create a double option play there. It's a little bit different. It shows different, but if that's the stunt that they're committed to, if they're committed to this stunt, then it becomes very effective for us in terms of doing that. If they're reading it, if it doesn't matter if they're seeing backfield or they're reading our offensive line. If they're hitting back, if the defensive end's hitting back on the offensive line, he short arcs it. You're going to get a little width out of that defensive end, which is going to cause the quarterback to give the ball. This backer's going to he's going to end up filling here, but he's going to fill and be accounted for in our scheme. And if they're doing it the way where it's predetermined and he's crashing right now, then the short arc, then we're going to get him with the tackle and create a nice big play for our quarterback off the ride. He's going to keep the ball, get out here, and like I said, we're blocking there and then stalking here, and we're going to get a nice little double option play with our quarterback essentially running the alley of the hash and numbers. So feel like that's a good answer for that play. Our next option would be to block the play side inside linebacker with our slot. So now, essentially, what we have to understand here is if they're in a single high look and there's a free safety, he's unblocked, okay? So we'll kind of circle a free safety there, show him as being unblocked. We still have a handoff key here, okay? We still have a pitch key here, and then we're stalking the corner. If the corner's playing way the heck off, and the free safety's running the alley, we also have the option to kind of go get the free safety that way. But understand that there's still going to be an unblocked guy here, but we are going to account for this inside linebacker with multiple guys. So because we're still veer releasing our tackle, and we're working our slot to him. If he doesn't show and we're working our slot to him, then we will go for that free safety. So we tell him, as we're working out here that, work for the inside linebacker. If he doesn't show, if he plugs and buries himself inside, then you continue the free safety. It's kind of our teaching progression there. The last option would be to block the pitch key with the slot and pitch off the inside linebacker. We could use a tight end or H-back to break their scheme. That would be another way to go. Okay, so that's kind of what we're talking about. If we wanted to kind of show that, we would say, okay, now rather than here, we're going to just go right here and block right in there, and let us pitch off of him. Okay, so that would be our last option. That's why we say quarterback can never pitch off the inside backer unless we've schemed to block him. So our quarterback, would have to be aware of that and adjust appropriately. So it becomes a quick pull and pitch kind of play for our quarterback, unless he gets too wide, and our quarterback can still get vertical off of him. So as we continue to build off our base play, we want to be formation savvy. First of all, we want to make sure that they have option rules for all the formations that we're going to employ here, and feel good about that. We want to have answers for schemes designed to stop the play. So the option switch stunt is the stunt that gives us the most trouble in terms of just dealing with it in our base stuff. So we've got 6-7 different answers that we can have, and there's no need to have all of those answers ready. You always want to have the answer of put your foot in the ground and get vertical. I mean, that's number one, without changing anything. And then you're going to want to have an answer or two available to you, as you go through the season, and kind of switch that up so that they can't, so it's move, counter move kind of deal, and they can't predict your move necessarily. So having answers for schemes designed to stop the play is what we just did, and then we want to talk a little bit about misdirection. Well, our wing counter play is our base misdirection play that we use off of inside veer. For our quarterback, in terms of this play, he's still gonna pivot mesh as if it was inside veer. Then he's gonna step deep off that mesh and hand the ball back to the slot. Okay. We have undetectable motion here as if it was orbit motion. Then the play side slot's essentially going to insert for the play side linebacker and go get him and attack that outside number. All right. The play side tackle in this play is going to reach the 5 technique, what we call a reach block. So he's really going to attack, if we've got his number here, if his number's 56, we're going to attack the 5. We're going to step to attack the 5. And really what we've got to do, we can't lose on this play. As long as we're locked on to this defensive end, we're fine. So if he starts to stretch, then we'll just turn out on him and drive him out. If we get him hooked, we got to stay on him and stay bodied up with him. Okay? Or as we say, keep him covered up. Drive block the man over for the play side guard, sustain contact, and create space, meaning we got to get him off the ball a little bit here. If it's a 3 technique, it's certainly much more difficult to us than running that bubble when he's in a 1 technique. Either way, he's really got to get movement there. Center's blocking back for the pulling guard. Remember that you're eyeballing that play side hip and going to get the play side hip. So that's your aiming point there. Our backside guard is pulling through. Essentially, it's a long trap footwork. When you get to the when you get to the center, you're going to take a little. You're going to open up just a little bit to get deep. And the reason you're doing that is you want to be able to see this block here, because you're reading this block. Essentially, here as it's drawn, he's hooking the 5, so we're working outside of it. And then if he stretches, then you're going to work inside that. But you want the same guy. We're going after the alley defender here. So you want the same guy regardless of how you get there. But you are going to read that tackle's block to get there. So you're going to want a kid who can run a little bit, be a little bit athletic about himself. And then we're going to wheel and seal the backside. Tackle's going to help in that backside B gap. You'll also get some help from the running back as he plugs in here off the fake. So we want to make sure that backside is sealed and that there's no penetration on that backside. Here we'll see the play. We're going to see the play run to the left here. You're going to get the short motion. You're going to get him inserting. Watch the guard. He does a pretty good job of latching on, driving, and just burying the guy. And then it's a big play for us. Here you'll see it again. Run to the left. We're going to insert. We get a nice insert block here. Nice insert block by the slot here. Our tackle's working his hips around here. Our guard is out in front. We've given the ball, and we feel pretty good about ourselves. We just got to get that block out there, and we got a big play. Of course, we don't get that block out there, but it's still a big play for us. Now we're going to show you the play with a little bit different scenario here. We're going to work a different play action off of it, and the reason we're showing you this is really to show how multiple we are. We're just going to work action off of this, which is the power read play, which essentially means that he cannot motion to insert. He's got to come right from where he is and just go get that inside backer. Now he misses him. But that kind of shows you just kind of the versatility of our play. And then, our guard should be helping on the nose, working for the backside backer. He misses as well. We do get a nice gain out of it, though, deep in our own territory. But we miss a couple of key blocks there. So it's a nice first down play for us, or a play giving us first down yardage, but you can see that we got a little bit of an issue there. Here we're running it to the left again. This time you'll see, and we'll show it to you in the tight one, those alley defenders come right up to the line of scrimmage, forcing. Now he plugs, essentially the inside backer plugs here, looking inside. He should check, and then as he goes, just kind of continue through. He doesn't necessarily do that. Our pulling guard, who is this character right here is actually going to kick everyone out as they've come up to the line of scrimmage here. So even though we've got this guy hooked with our tackle, we've got guys coming up the line of scrimmage, so we're going to have to kick that out, and he does. Our back makes a nice cut, and then we're kind of off to the races here. So that's, that was a good play for us there. This one we're using an H-back, so we're trying to be, like we said in the outset, being formation savvy. So now we're going to motion with this guy and insert him here, and then we've got the H-back there, so that really helps us, and it's a formation we used in the latter part of the season. We were running a lot of inside veer where we would arc and arc for these two guys, and certainly, you can see we're almost, we're almost to the point where, we take this one to the house. So you'll see motions in, you get that motion in after, we kind of check the play here, get the play called, we get back into our positioning. Now you'll see that slot motion himself in, he's going to insert, does a nice job there, and on this one we actually kick him out, and we almost get it. So you can see the guard make his read here of our tackle. You see it's a wider 5, so we know we're going to kind of, our tackle's going to work his hips a little bit, but we know we're going to kind of get that kick out instead of the other way. And then we're able to get that alley defender as he's coming in, and we're almost gone. I mean, a little faster and we're gone. Okay, so we build off our base plays. We're formation savvy. We have answers for the schemes designed to stop the play. We use some misdirection. Now let's change the blocking scheme a little bit here and see what we can come up with in terms of variations of option plays here. Zone read, if we're in the pistol, and we've run it both ways where we're in the pistol or we moved the back adjacent, like you saw in the clip before when we were running the misdirection play off of it. We're deeper pistol and midline footwork, and he's pressing the hole here, and he really gets a three-way go. He can go there, he can work up the gut here, or he can work back this way. He gets a three-way go. We're reading the 5 with midline footwork. If the back is adjacent, so if the back is next to the quarterback here, so he's not there anymore, then essentially what we do is the quarterback opens inside veer, and he just hustles to get into mesh phase, and then tracks inside veer. So either way, we're reading the same guy, we're blocking it the same way, and that's kind of how we're rolling with it. So if we're in the pistol, we're deeper, it's a little slower, it's a midline track, we push the midline crease, we get the three-way go just like we said. Play side offensive tackle, really, I mean, we're 45-degree angle step and we're on railroad tracks, okay? But we tell them essentially it's we can bang the 5 here to create a running back give if we want to do that, but essentially the front side is inside veer, so he's running inside veer, he's running inside veer. We will help on the 3 technique. We're at inside veer where we normally don't, and then everybody else is stepping 45-degree angle step and kind of working backside. Okay, so you're working here. Essentially what he's doing is he's checking for this hip of the 3 technique to come to him, because we get a lot of sparking into the A gaps from a B gap aligned guy. So he's going to step 1, 2, and go, and then he's railroad tracked on him. Just drive the inside hip, and then he's inside hip aiming point, and then just drive and go. So that's kind of our offensive line technique, and then. And there it is, kind of written for you at the bottom. So that's what we're trying to do in an offensive line point of view. And they know that the ball's coming out here to the left in some form or fashion. Either we're going to kind of get that hole there, or if it's the quarterback keeping the ball, then we're going to be just a little bit wider and getting vertical off of that. So it's the same zone read play that you saw even in the NFL this year, and it's pretty effective for us. And here we are, kind of working on it from the adjacent stance. You see our tackle bang releasing it. That was kind of a game plan issue that we had set into motion. We're singling the one and zoning off the backside. So we're kind of zoning away from the play here. Here it is, run the other way. Notice how this back is more of a, he's a younger kid, you know, really good back for us out of Florida, and he works more in here off of it. He's more in tune to kind of the zone stuff and then breaking it out than the other guys who are better trackers, not as good, you know, at the zone stuff. So there's the zone read play, and here we have it kind of in a game situation. What we do here, this is actually, we're in an overset. Our tight end is being covered up by our flanker here. Then we've got a slot and an H-back. What we're trying to do, it's not the Super Bowl where we're going to get called for illegal man downfield. All we're trying to do is, you know, we recognize the fact that they weren't going to shift off of our motion, so we'll motion this guy back across, and these two guys, this guy here and then the motion guy here, will have these two hats, and then you'll see him bury, and then all we're doing is reading this guy, and then we're set to go. So you know, we'll get the play here, we'll kind of get the play changed, or get the play called in from the sideline, and we move the back adjacent in this one, motion them across, and then we get the nice pull read. You know, if we can get that outside shoulder blocked, you know, we might have a better play, but that's a pretty solid play for us. Here you'll see this backer plug in here. We don't get the bang release from our right tackle, but he's right up on him. We get a nice drive here, then we're zoning off the backside. Okay, so that's all we're looking to do here on this play. And motion, not much adjustment. Get a stalemate from our guard, and then we're off to the races with our quarterback. Pretty good play for us. The next play, jet zone read, inverted veer, power read, however you want to call it. We call it. We'll call it power read when we're reading when we're using the back, and then, you know, we're using jet zone read when we go, you know, with the motion. That's, you know, our quarterback coach insists on it. He's kind of like that. So we'll deep our alignment. We'll shuffle with the mesh towards the handoff key, give the ball unless the handoff key obviously takes it away. Then our quarterback has to, regardless if he has the ball or not, he has to differentiate his track and kind of push up into that B gap. In the inverted veer, if you want to call it that, really all you're doing is your quarterback becomes the dive back, and then whoever your mesh back is taking the ball to the edge. So that's kind of how we're working it. The mesh guy, whoever it is, it could be the slot, which is who it is in this case as it's drawn. It could be the running back. We could have the guy adjacent. We can have the guy pistoled. If we have him pistoled, you know, we offset him just a little bit. His hand's kind of right there instead of, you know, right there on a plane with the quarterback. And as you receive the ball off the mesh, you get the ball here, you're the mesh back, you're looking to get vertical at your first opportunity and get us some yards. So that's essentially what you're trying to do. Our running back, and it could be our running back as it's shown here, it could be number 3 in a trip set. You've got 1, 2, you've got number 3, which is the inside backer, up to free safety. Okay, because essentially we're going to horn for the inside backer, but if he plays over the top, we're not going to be able to get him in the offensive line, and that's how we're going to do it. Here's our play side tackle. Your veer releasing all the way to the backside guy. Okay, guard, your drive blocking, play side guard, your drive blocking the defensive tackle. Center, you're blocking back near hip, aiming point. Wheel and seal from the backside offensive tackle, and then offensive guard, you're horning through. Okay. And we're going to get a little bit quarterback ISO if he does, if the handoff key does come way upfield to try and tackle. Okay, and here you see, remember our offensive line as we're horning through. If he gets wider, we climb, never chase. So you put your head to the inside and continue getting vertical, looking for, you know, a backer or a safety scraping over the top. So that's kind of what we're looking at there in terms of the play. Now here it is. Where we're going to give the ball to our back. We're in a 2x2 set here, so we're going to give it. Our back's going to get vertical as soon as he can, get up the field, and into a nice play. Now we'll see there. kind of look at it again here. We'll see that they're in an odd front, so we're going to bang down in there. We're going to come to that next backer down inside and see what we can do. He misses him a little bit. We try to cut him. The right tackle does. But you see that, even when it's not blocked picture perfect, we're able to get kind of some play there in terms of what we want from the play. All right, now here we go. We're going to kind of check it here. Now watch, our back gets a little bit too tight to the line of scrimmage on this play. So essentially, and this is a good teaching point, see how tight he is compared to the quarterback? It's a little bit tight to the line of scrimmage. And essentially what happens is his track is flawed now. Because he's so conscious of staying away from the line of scrimmage, and he's too tight, he has to kind of work deeper and then break vertical. We don't really want that. So align yourself, a little bit deeper, running back. See him? He's going to break deeper. See that? That's kind of rough. He's going to get deeper to work downhill. Fortunately, we got him a little bit defensively. So here it is again. Now that's a perfect opportunity to see a pull read or a keep. And our quarterback keeps the ball, goes up the field, and fumbles it. So, but you see that's probably the most obvious give read that we or pull read that we have, on the season. Here we are working it with a tight end down here to the right side, and our tight end right now, he's going to arc for the inside backer and then continue on to the free safety. Okay, so there he is. He's arcing. He needs to get to this top shoulder, though. Right now, we're in good shape. If he gets to this top shoulder, we still got him on the pedal, and he's 5, 10, 15, 20 yards away from the football, but we're not able to get to that top shoulder, and really what it does is it decreases our alley that we can run. So if we're here and we get to that top shoulder right now, essentially this kid's going to have 15, 17 yards to deal with, and you got an open field tackle with that safety in a 17-yard window. So that makes it tough. But then they're able to kind of crease it down and kind of deal with us a little bit. Great play on the goal line for us. And here again, our tight end, he's just going to arc for number 2 or the free safety, whoever's coming over the top first, and we're in a kind of a double tight set here. It makes it very difficult for them to kind of deal with that circumstance. Our receiver just kind of runs him off, and then, there we go. Here it is again in terms of this on the goal line. And again, our guy's able to pretty effectively get himself into the goal line, into the end zone. Here it is again on the goal line. 3-by-1 set now. We motion to it, and boom, right into the end zone. See the offensive line. We're going to horn through. We don't really get to anybody, but the ball's pushed to the perimeter anyway, so it really kind of negates what we need to do with that horn block. The horn block's never going to get involved in it unless the quarterback keeps the ball. We've got to work it every time because you never know. Here it is again. We're working the perimeter, and just really solid football plays for us in terms of what we're able to accomplish, and really stressing the defense on this play. Here's another rep of it. We do a nice job of making that vertical cut. You can see this kid does a really good job. Our tight end's in position this time. We get a nice seal block there. Number 2 gets pushed back just a little bit. We make the vertical cut off of him, and it's really a nice play for us. Next play off of this, when we're using a tight end, certainly is outside veer, and really think a lot of it. We use the traditional 1 big, 2 little, working downhill, reading the end mine on the line of scrimmage, just like you did when you were a split back team. Running back, inside leg of tackle trap, so you're really working off the ass of the tackle. Soft fold on the mesh, just like you do. Here we are working it to the left here in practice, just kind of repping it here. Big, little, mesh, perfect. Okay, and running back downhill. Here we go with our offensive line. what we're trying to do here is the first guy off the handoff key, so the first guy down from the handoff key, here he is, first guy on or outside the tackle, outside the tight end, excuse me. First guy in gets doubled. All right, so if we're in an 8 and a 3, then it would be the 3 that would get doubled by the guard and the tackle, but because there's a 5 there, we're gonna double the 5. So we've got handoff key, and then we're doubling. Really, what we tell this tackle to do is you take him on and drive him, and then the tight end's going to come in and just collapse the hip. So his aiming point is that near hip, the tight end is, and we're going to collapse him to go this way. Our guard is going to step 2 and then work vertical for that backer. We're going to full scoop the backside. All right, and here we are here. It's really a good play for us to try and control the game. We do have, essentially, we've got our tight end here, we've got an H-back here, and then we've got a wide receiver here. So he's gonna get the perimeter guy. This guy's lined up over the tackle, so we're gonna double him here, and he becomes the handoff key, and that's because they're in a 3-3-5. So they're really in a hurting position here, and we're able to kind of take advantage of that 3-3-5 alignment and go get them a little bit. And there it is. Nice play for us. Here you'll see it from the end zone view. And like we talked about before, the H-back's going to get the next guy. We're going to double the 5 here. They try and option switch it. They try and option switch it with this guy, but he just comes too wide, and our guy gets underneath him. And that's part of the problem with that option switch. You may theoretically have the gap contained by the second level guy, but I mean the pace of the back and how he hits it and how vertical he gets off of that block really kind of dictates the fact that they're going to have trouble with it. Here we are in a backed up situation, and we're going to run it again. We kind of screw up the scheme here, but you see the effectiveness of the play in this scenario. We're going to motion that H back there. We should not have blocked the handoff key, but we did, and then we're just kind of working here. Here you'll see what we're seeing from the end zone. Why we like to play here, what we should have had happen. He's going to go in motion and come back and kind of work outside of the handoff key. What we should have gotten was a doubling here and working up to this guy, and he should have stepped 2 and gone. But this tight end, I don't know what our tight end's doing here. But you see just by the pace of the back, where he is, his angle of attack in terms of hitting the butt of the tackle and just getting vertical right now makes this an ideal play for this spot on the field. I mean, it's not worse. It doesn't get worse than this, really. So, our back makes a nice cut or series of nice cuts, and it's a 20-yard gain for us. So. And there we are working it again. And just really a nice job by our back of getting vertical off the block of the tackle and tight end. So here they are. We're running it to the left now. We're going to double this guy here and work to the backer. You see how the guy stems inside. So we'll back it up here just a little bit so you can see it. The defensive lineman stems inside, leaving our tight end without anyone to hit. He's supposed to collapse that hip. That hip runs away from him as fast as can be, which leaves him, the linebacker, right in our tight end's track. So our tight end's got him now and does a pretty good job of walling him off. This kid right here is in no place to threaten our running back, and our running back makes a couple of nice moves, and then away we go. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. It's important to get a nice push on the line of scrimmage, which we do there without question. We should be working down, and working to this backer here with these 3 guys. And as it happens, the handoff key again, or not the handoff key, but the guy we're double teaming again goes inside to the point where now our guard and tackle, because he's stepping 2, he steps 2. He's going to attack that near hip because he's inside of him now in a 4-eye, and he's just going to come down and get the first thing that he can. So that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of outside veer. Tight end shouldn't have stopped. If the tight end doesn't stop here, we really create some space. See how our tight end breaks down right here. If he'd have kept his flat back and run, we'd have created more space. Our running back kind of has to bubble there, which isn't ideal. See, he's hesitating just a little bit, not ideal for us. Hopefully, in this series, what you've learned is a little bit of how we deal with some problems that exist when we're running inside veer, how we use misdirection as a variation option play, how we use the zone scheme to help us out a little bit, and then our jet zone read, power read stuff, and then obviously our outside veer. It's been a pleasure presenting to you guys today. Certainly you can get in touch with me at your leisure if you have any further questions. Otherwise, I appreciate the opportunity to speak today.